Within my style progression, there are some clear and defined chapters that are both fun to look back on and a bit cringeworthy. Now at 24, my brain has finally decided to start developing, and one of the most interesting subcategories within fashion is Japanese Americana. Today's video is the first of many where we are going to explore the ins and outs of Japanese Americana in hopes to familiarize ourselves with the genre and understand why it's grown in prominence over the years. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Drew What It Do. It's nice to meet you. For those of you who do know me, welcome back and thank you for your continued support on this channel. So I have two objectives that I want both you and I to come to an understanding about at the completion of this video. First, after you watch this video, you should be able to explain to someone or understand the inspiration or what inspired Japanese Americana to come into fruition. Second, you should know about the 4 pillars of Japanese Americana. Let's dive in. So, what inspired the stylistic blueprint for Japanese Americana? Well, we have to go back to the 1860s where Japan's isolationist foreign policy was being challenged in a whole new way. During the back half of the 18th century and the beginning of the 19th century, Japan's 122nd emperor, Emperor Meiji, was responsible for Japan's initial ascent and recognition as a cultural powerhouse on the world stage. This shift came in the form of recontextualizing what it meant to be high class in Japan, which for fashion meant the shift away from long hair top knots and swords to 3-piece suits and military attire that was elevated. Now you may be thinking, Drew, this is cool and all, but where do we get to the meat and potatoes of what inspired Japanese Americana? Hold on, let me get there. Alright, let's fast forward to the 1960s. This is where Japanese Abbey style or Ivy League style begins to initiate what we know as Japanese Americana. And you don't need to be a historian to understand the ties between America and Japan, both culturally and just historically. World War II thrusted both of these global powers, the United States and Japan, into both conflict and curiosity in more ways than just one. And during the 50s, 60s, and 70s, America was maybe more culturally dominant than it ever has been before. And some of that magic caught the eye of a few men who actually had the opportunity to travel to the United States and take home what they learned from America. The likes of which included Kensuke Ishizu, one of the famed authors of Take Ivy, a fashion photography book that documented Ivy League fashion during the 50s and 60s. This book, as well as Mr. Ishizu, are deemed as huge catalysts for the genesis of Japanese Americana, like I said, as we know today. As a result of this book, Japanese men began to take dressing and dressing well as a more serious tone to their lifestyle. And while a lot of people took inspiration from books like Take Ivy and Ivy League fashion, there were of course individuals that saw the inspiration and blended it with their own culture, their own insights, and made it something uniquely their own and started something really awesome in the process, the likes of which we call Japanese Americana today. Now, I think I'll stop there as it pertains to the origin. I think you kind of get a general gist of what the origin of Japanese Americana is. There probably is much more minutia that you could go into, but I feel like as a broad stroke, as a surface level understanding and not a historian understanding, that explanation does the job. Let me know if you want me to cover the origin and connection of denim as it relates to Japanese Americana. I feel like that subject matter deserves its own video, but if you don't want it, then let me know. If you do want it, then let me know. Alright, so let's talk about the 4 pillars of Japanese Americana. I'm super excited for this section. Now, these aren't technically the end-all, be-all 4 pillars of Japanese Americana, write it in stone. These are the 4 commandments. No. Nothing like that. These are pulled directly from Beams Plus, which I feel like is a very, very recognizable Japanese Americana brand that does things really correctly. They come correct for sure. And I thought it would be interesting to explore their kind of 4 pillars and just apply it loosely to what I'm mostly seeing as it relates to Japanese Americana and the outfits, the garments, etc., etc. Most Japanese Americana garments derive from these 4 pillars, and the longer you look into Japanese Americana, the more you see its influence. The first pillar is workwear. Workwear is meant to emphasize garments that last a long time and are constructed with an intentional level of ruggedness. The second pillar is military wear, which is is a nod to class and origins of the shift in cultural gravitas for Japan in the late 19th and 18th century. The third pillar is sportswear, which emphasizes the blend of power and grace in personal styling, something that I am drawn to heavily being a former athlete. And lastly, the fourth pillar is Ivy League couture, which symbolizes in part the golden age of American status and cultural dominance in class. Workwear, military wear, sportswear, Ivy League couture. Those are the four pillars, at least according to Beams Plus. And I think that it's so cool that Japanese Americana has this such deep and rich history that's still being played out today. But that concludes this week's episode or video about Japanese Americana. I've never said episode. I've never called my videos an episode. That was weird. If you have any other suggestions, any other topics as it relates to Japanese Americana, drop them down in the comment section. If I missed out anything in regards to either the origin or the pillar, please let me know down in the comments. I would love to hear what you have to say about that. And as always, I'm spreading peace, love, and positivity in 2022. So that means I'm spreading peace, love, and positivity to you. Wherever you are in the world, have a wonderful rest of your day. I'll see you later. Abianto. Peace. Yo, what is good? Post vid. Shout out to you guys, man. Thank you so much for all the support. I can't believe how many people don't know about the post vid. I guess it just makes our group a little bit more special, you know what I mean? I almost forgot. You know, we get down. Bop. Appreciate you guys so much. Let's get another one in. Bop. 2 times for the 2 times. If you're watching this video right now in the post vid, then you'll know your boy has landed in Amsterdam. I cannot believe I am in Amsterdam. I'm talking to Future Drew right now. Future Drew, you're in Amsterdam. You're in the Netherlands, my boy. Hopefully it's nice. No, I'm just kidding. But shout out to you guys. Hopefully you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, PVV. We'll see you in the next vid. Drop your comments. #PVV. Y'all know how y'all get down. Y'all the best on the internet. See y'all later. Peace.